Say yes. I said, who came here to make a lot of money? Say yes. Love it, love it, love it. So, in order for us to make a lot of money, okay, we have to start with the number one thing. So, I want you to write this one down, guys. Number one is it's going to be your mindset. Okay, why is mindset important? Why is mindset important?
You have to be in the right frame of mind to accomplish what you're set out to do.
Right. Yes, absolutely right. The key to making a lot of money is not to just get in the reps, it's to do the mindset work that you must do internally for yourself. Okay, growing up as an Asian American, you might have instilled personally, right, some beliefs about yourself that maybe you haven't fully healed yet inside of you. Okay, that can come from a self identity thing. So for myself, I'll give you a little bit of backstory about myself. When I grew up, okay, I remember traveling in high school and in middle school to, my mom was, I'm Thai American, guys, if you didn't know that. So I'm Thai American. And I remember my mom getting a divorce from my Asian dad at the age of 8 years old. And from 8 years old onwards until today, I didn't have an Asian father figure in my life. And I always said to myself, where's my dad? Like, who is my role model? What type of man am I seeking for and am I searching for, right? And so for me, growing up Asian was it was a very self-identity crisis. I actually didn't know who I was growing up in my teenage life. So I had a white stepdad who, to this day I call my real dad, right? Because he was around from the age of 8 years old onwards. And so I started to believe that, he was my dad. And going into high school, I was always around, which it wasn't by choice, but I was always gravitating towards the white friends, right? My white friends. And by the time I hit university, I realized I didn't fit in because those were my friends, but they were doing their own journeys and they were a part of their own universities and their own corporate jobs and this and that. And so what I experienced was I didn't know where to fit in, and I had to really just I didn't know how to belong in society, right? And by the age of 20, I actually was so consumed about my identity that it led me to start believing that I couldn't fit in with anyone. I tried to people please, try to fit in here, try to fit in there, and it just didn't work out for me. And so by the age of 20, I actually committed suicide, and I tried attempting to commit suicide at the age of 20 years old because I was questioning who I really was inside of me and the way I looked and where I was from. And it really, really played with my image. And so we fast forward, 12 years later at the age of 32 now, I figured out the formula that I helped myself achieve success and start making a lot of money. And so the first and foremost, why I say mindset is the most important things that you must learn and you must achieve here is because it's crucial for each and every one of you to figure out who you really are and who do you want to become. And so if you still have those beliefs about yourself, maybe it stems from your trauma as a teenager. Maybe you were the only Asian kid in high school. Maybe you didn't have a lot of Asian friends. Maybe you didn't know who you really were as well, right? Maybe you were bullied or you did the bullying to have that, you had insecurities and you're carrying those insecurities into your adult lives. And now because you're getting into the sales industry and the online industry, it's reflecting on how much income you're actually earning. And so when I say, guys, who wants to make a lot of money, I'm actually saying who wants to level up their mindset so that way they can actually grow and then make more money. Okay? Because you don't make more money by not growing. You make more money by adding in value to other people. Does that make sense, everyone? Say yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so when I say this is that mindset and the belief you have in yourself, okay, is going to be how you separate yourself from taking it to the next level. So you need to analyze yourself and watch what you say to yourself every single day. It's so important here. Every single day, write down what you're saying to yourself. Repeat the words to yourself and how you want to see, how do you view the world? But most importantly, how are you viewing yourself? Write this one down. If you don't like you, how will they like you? How will the prospects like you? If you don't love yourself, how can you love other people? And so it's so important to really identify and self-analyze what's going on inside internally first. Because in order to make a lot of money, you have to figure out who you are first and what you're really about. Now, if you keep telling you, write this one down, right? Words will change everything. The way you speak to yourself. So let me tell you why, at 20 years old, I was a very quiet, growing up, I was a quiet Asian. I didn't talk a lot. I was really inside my head, stuck. I felt very stuck. And I felt as if I didn't know how to escape and I didn't know how to clear my mind and get what I had to say out and express the emotions inside what I was battling deep down, right? Until I found sales and I started talking to more people that I was like, wow, I can actually open up a little bit, right? And so at the age of 20 years old, I felt these low frequency emotions, okay? That if you read a frequency chart and you feel your emotions, there was sadness, there was depression, there was victimization, right? I'd always used to blame my mom for everything, right? Why this? Why'd you have to go marry that white guy? Why the fuck did you have to do this? I was so angry, so angry. And I just figured out she's not the problem. I was just the insecure kid. And it took me years and years in my adult life to realize she wasn't the problem. She was just trying to give me a better life. And, that man that she's with today is a great father to me. And so when I say this is identify what you're saying about yourself. So if you say to yourself, I am sad, I am this, I am that, these things can be fixed. All of these things can be fixed about yourselves. And because we're in sales, because you're here to grow yourself, all these things can be fixed about yourself. I am skinny, I am muscular, I am fat, I am this. I'm not confident, I'm not shy. Well, get used to fucking flipping the switch, okay? Write down flip the script. Flip the switch like a light bulb. Flicker it. Because the mindset is going to be the one thing that you have to change in order to make a lot of money. Because the people that I watch and I see online and that I see in person, they have a different mentality about them of who they are. So I always say, figure out who you are and who you want to become. That will then get into your truest, authentic self. And I didn't realize my truest, authentic self until I actually went to Asia. Okay? Until I actually stepped foot. And so a good practice is, if you're like, damn, Joey, I just can't figure out who I really am. I don't know, I'm still scared to talk to people. I still get thoughts about, people caring about me here, there, this. I have so much, I can't even post online. I can't even make content, right? Okay. Now is the time to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, okay? Where, oh, Joey, I have social anxiety, this, that, the other. Perfect. So did I. Everyone has it too. You're not the only one. It's just how do you reprogram what's up here first? Because you must heal your inside child. You must heal your inner child. Okay. Once you figure out exactly the type of person and the type of man you want to become, you can become him. You can do it. And so, a great way of why we're here, right? We're all Asian American men here in this room today, as we can see, right? We're all Asian American men. A great way to find myself after so many years of searching for who I am was actually going to Asia. Okay. I went to Asia 2 years ago after having been in the US for so long. So long. Yeah. I went back to the motherland, back to where it all began. And when I got there, the first few months, I was still very like Americanized, still very like, obnoxious, loud. And the more I kind of got myself involved with the culture of, being in Asia, shout out to Thailand, it kind of gave me a sense of belonging, right? Being in Asia taught me about understanding essentially just how nice that everyone gets to be looking like everyone else, right? Where maybe in America, you might feel like we're not, we're here because we do feel some type of way, right? Some type of maybe disbelonging. But after spending 2 years in Asia and coming back to the US, I finally realized it wasn't about being in Asia. It was just about my internal thoughts. Because once I worked on myself, I spent time in the gym, I spent time on my mindset, I spent time alone in solitude. That's when I came back to America and I thought, wow, it wasn't America that was a problem. It was my own victim mentality that was the issue. Okay. And now today, right, you're here because ASS created a movement, right? You're here because you want to work and you want to make more money. And to make more money, you have to change what's up here. That's the first most important thing. Okay. So I hope everyone understood that, right? Those are the first key steps of making a lot of money inside ASS and inside this empire of working on yourselves. All right. Cool. Cool.
Beautiful.
Okay, so the second thing, who wants to make extra money on top of making more money? Say yes. Yeah, boy. Who wants to make a lot of fucking money? Fuck you, money, bitch. Cool. Next thing is this. My mentor, right? Jim Rohn, the greats, always said this. If you want to make more money, you have to see what's in the marketplace and give a lot of value. Value, 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 value. Okay? And how do you get value? It stems from skills. What skills are you bringing into the marketplace in order for you to acquire a lot of money? Yeah? If you're working at McDonald's, the value you bring in society, quote unquote society, is $10 an hour. That's how much a McDonald's worker makes in the US, $10 an hour. Okay? And so how do we get value? How do we get skills? Well, guys, it's pretty simple. You work on skills every day, day in and day out. Number one skill I want you to write down that got me to making great money here in my business. I'm going to start with leadership. Leadership for me helped me grow myself to where I was listening to the audiobooks. I was listening to the greats that already once was before me. I just repeat the words that they said to make a lot of money. So therefore, I made a lot of money. The knowledge is in the books. The knowledge is in the audiobooks. Most humans are all the same anyways. Us Asians, blacks, whites, greens, Mexicans, we're all the same people. We all think the same thoughts. We all have those lingering thoughts, and we all have the same thoughts because we read the same goddamn self-development books every fucking goddamn everywhere, right? So we're just a creation of other people with our own little twist. You sick fucks. Okay, great. And so what I'm trying to say is this: you must learn some skills. And so the number one skill I love to learn myself is how to become a leader. Okay? And so how do you become a leader? What must you first do?
Must lead by example.
Great. You must lead by example. Perfect. So how do we do that? We have to lead ourselves. If you can't lead others before leading yourself, then you'll never make money. So lead yourself first before you lead other people. And how do you do that? What are some simple steps that you must take to lead yourself? Lead from the front. Yes. So simple things. Write this one down, guys. Do the things you say you're going to do and do it throughout the day. If you say you're going to go to the gym in the morning, go to the gym in the morning. If you say you're going to brush your teeth, brush your teeth. Okay? So when you speak words out to existence, the number one thing you can do is lead yourself before you lead others. So make that promise to yourself. When you say, it doesn't mean it has to be extravaganza where I'm going to make $1 million today. No, I mean, do the little wins of what you know you can do, which are simple human practices. If you say you're going to make your bed, make your bed. And follow those practices every single day. And once you start doing that, I swear to God, it compounds. Little things compound over time, right? Great book, The Compound Effect by Dan Hardy, okay? Super simple. Compound, little bit by little bit by little bit. If you're going to talk to one new stranger a day, say, hey, today I am going to talk to one new stranger and just talk to that stranger, okay? Simple enough. Have that as a non-negotiable. Very simple. So before you lead others, start leading yourself. Cool. Now, to be a leader, you know, it's leading from the front and people following you, right? That's what leadership is. It's influence. And so how I started practicing my influence with communication is just talking to myself in the mirror. What's up, guys? My name's Joey Grayson. I'm 29 years old. I'm a full-time entrepreneur living out here in Bangkok, Thailand. I came to get laid, get paid, and make money. Let's go. DM me the word sales right now and you can get laid too and get paid. Just practice in the mirror how you're going to talk. Record yourself. Do these little things to make yourself better. Because the more you talk to yourself, the more you're going to be good with you. So I say this, like, Growing up Asian, it's okay to talk to yourself. It's okay to have things to talk to yourself. No one's going to talk to you more than you. Your own mom ain't going to talk to you more than your own goddamn mind, is it, brother? So talk to yourself nicely. Talk to me nicely, okay? And so that's leadership there on how to lead yourself, all right? And another example is how you talk to yourself. Stop telling yourself, discrediting who you are, because you have knowledge here. You are having skills. You are wanting skills. You already have the skills. This is just extra toppings. You all have a brain cell. You all graduated college, high school, and you all can speak English and other mother tongues. Am I right? And so you're bringing a lot more to the marketplace. And that's what creates value. Okay? And so when they say, if you want to make a lot of money, learn leadership. Well, they say learn 2 things, right? Learn 3. Actually, learn a lot of different things. If you want to make a lot of money, learn sales and learn leadership. That's why you came here to this event. Am I right? Say yes. Fantastic, fantastic. And so with sales and leadership, you combine the 2 together and you'll start creating an impact. Okay? And, you choose an industry. So I say this, I don't know what other industries look like. Okay? I don't know how to pass a Harvard degree exam to be a fucking doctor. That's not in us. I don't think that's any of you guys do, no offense. I don't think any of you all a doctor here? No one an Asian doctor? I hear nothing. Absolutely nada. Okay? So what can we bring to the marketplace that can make us a doctor's salary, right? It's sales. Sales is the one thing that you can bring into the marketplace that can get you paid a lot of money, right? Whether you're a videographer, you have to sell someone on your service. You have to promote yourself, okay? And it's not just talking as well. How do you want to dress? You want to dress like me? You want to dress like this? You got some big Louis V's up in your belt, yeah? And so it's everything, all right? Leadership in sales is just how do you carry yourself in a room? Because it's going to reflect on the other person. But most importantly, how do you view yourself? Viewing yourself is the most important part of this journey as a man. In this program, it's how do you view yourself? That's the number 1 key here. Because if I don't like Joey, no one's going to like Joey. If I don't love me, no one's going to love me. If I'm angry at my mom, she's going to be angry at me. If I'm toxic to my girlfriend, she's going to be toxic to me too. Okay? Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey king. And so I talk to myself now with, write this one down as well, affirmations. Maybe as you grew up, as an Asian American, as an Asian guy, you didn't maybe receive the love that you might have got at home, right? I know some Asian households maybe didn't get the nurturing affection, like maybe in Latino culture where everything's, a more love and satisfaction, right? And maybe that's why we gravitate towards, different cultures living in South America and whatnot. And so number 1 thing is always about finding the affirmations, because if you're not getting it from above, right? The lineage of above the Asian household, make sure you tell yourself. And so I want you to write this one thing down for an exercise here. Okay? Start with I am. I am a leader, not a sheep. I have a strong mind. I am great every single day. I am the best fucking version of myself every single fucking day, no matter what. I am powerful beyond imagination and creation on this earth. I am going to get it. I am a winner. And so when you start to look at yourself in a different light, in a different dimension, you're going to see a lot of great things happening in your life, I promise you. A lot of opportunities will come financially, spiritually, relationships. You can have anything you want. I feel like I have it all right now. I have the business that I've always wanted. I've got the body I've always dreamt of. I've got the girls I've always wanted too. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry, ladies. However, what I'm saying is, it's because I believed into it, right? I've always wanted to travel the world and make money online and create impact. I didn't know the vehicle it was going to be, but hey, the internet changed my life and it can change yours too. But remember, you have to start telling yourself how great you are, because no one else is going to tell you how great you are. Only you can tell yourself how great you are as a man. And so another practice is just becoming delusional. You hear it on Instagram. You hear it on Reels. I became successful because I was so goddamn delusional. And now they're doing it, right? I told you guys we would have a Colombian ASS mastermind in November. And now it is March and we're still doing it. I told you guys it was going to happen. And I kept saying, we're going to do it. 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 And boom, 3 people later showed up last minute. Fantastic. That's how it normally works. That's how energy gets created. That's how your frequency changes. Energy is frequency. So what you put out, you're going to receive back internally. Okay? So you must change what's in here first on how you speak to yourself, how you look at yourself. And the best thing about 2026 is that anybody can change their gender identity, their looks, whatever the fuck they want to do. Okay? Their hairline, their hair transplant. So after delusion, go make it possible. Because I'm sure you all followed a superhero when you were growing up, right? Who was your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And how did he look?
Oh man, he was great.
Right. We're all kind of gay, okay? We all have a super, you know, we all follow a role model, a Superman. Maybe it was in our fathers, or maybe it was in the movies, right? Mine was Captain America. I was like, God damn, this guy looks good, right? This little, this fucking white American Captain America guy, he was my inspiration. I was like, God, I love his shield. I love Marvel. Fantastic movie. And so I'm just trying to become that Marvel character for myself and look at myself as like that man, right? That G. Who is that G for yourself? And define that person of who you want, right? Conor McGregor was my favorite guy, back in my early 20s. It's like, damn, this guy is cool. He's charming. He's stud-like. I was like, I was walking around. I was like, okay, cool. Awesome. And so I just took a little bit of him, watched a lot of press conferences, loved his humor, loved the way his aura, and I kind of just modeled it and was like, wow, that's really cool. And so if it's within me, maybe a part of me, or it's in other people here, take a little bit of who they are and kind of become yourself towards you internally. Okay? And you'll have everything that you've always wanted to. And when you see yourself in a different light, you'll become that person, that guy. Okay? Cool? Awesome. So I'm going to talk about another thing here that I think is so important. The most important thing here, Ken. Let's give the camera to Alec or someone in the background. Cool.